Alright, so yesterday I did a live stream and it was about 3.5 hours long. It was great. We spent the entire stream unlocking the crossbow in Black Ops Cold War. We didn't go with the smallest maps possible or face-off, we just did the throwback playlist in hardcore mode and I used pistols, DMRs. It was fun. Honestly, I had fun playing, I had fun interacting with you guys, and all in all, great stream. It even ended with me reacting to a lot of memes that you guys sent in. You guys donated over $200. I really don't know how to thank all of you individually, other than just saying it was dope. Also, there were girls there. Real ones. Now, cheesy jargon about you guys making my dreams come true aside, I honestly really enjoy the crossbow in this game, but in this video we're going to be looking over every aspect of this crossbow because it's worth mentioning certain things about it. Talk about the iguana and the pickup truck. I genuinely don't understand how Treyarch released a crossbow into a game with gunsmith with only 4 optics as your attachment choice. This really adds weight to the rumor that Cold War was never meant to have gunsmith, and in fact that was added very, very late into development. That would explain why their gunsmith is so lackluster and doesn't contain operator mods or conversion kits. And I think this crossbow was designed for that version of the game that didn't have gunsmith, because 4 attachments, that's pretty sad. And the fact that none of these optics are scopes, they're all just like red dots and hollows, is really kind of embarrassing. I mean, you could have a sniper scope on the Black Ops 1 crossbow, you could have explosive tipped arrows in the recent Modern Warfare crossbow. In fact, Modern Warfare's crossbow is by far my favorite Call of Duty crossbow, not because it's so good, but because it's so damn customizable. One of my favorite things to do is play night maps without night vision goggles with my friends, and we hunt each other with night vision crossbows. It's so fun, and you just can't replicate that here at all. But at the same time, this crossbow's actually good. Like, Modern Warfare's crossbow, bless its heart, kinda sucked. Like, it had arrow deviation and other random bullshit. The arrow never felt like it was moving fast enough. It's super satisfying to use because of its difficulty of use, and it's super fun to customize it, but Cold Wars just sort of works out of the box, and there is something sort of nice about a weapon that you don't need to unlock 15 attachments to make it work. It just sort of works without any attachments on it. And since it's a secondary, it kind of makes sense that that's how it would be. I advocated for Modern Warfare making its crossbow a secondary because of how impractical it was to use and how I didn't like having to use a create a class slot, or sorry, a primary weapon slot for it. So how do I feel about it being a secondary here? Well, it's good in a couple ways, because at least that means you're gonna maybe come across less dual-wield Diamattis and less Howers and less Street Sweepers, I think is the shotgun name, and the Gallo. So less shotguns and less dual-wield burst pistols. That might make the game a little less frustrating, kind of how, like, I don't like stim in Call of Duty. I think stim shots are actually kind of a bad thing for Call of Duty's balance, and it really counters the faster time to kill, the more visceral gameplay that Call of Duty's supposed to have. But when people are running stims, they're not running concussions and flashbangs. Which really begs the question, why don't we just release a COD game without concussions or flashbangs? But either way, because the crossbow's really good, it's going to be very frustrating to die by. It's something somebody can throw in their class with no downside, and they can swap to it and plow you with it, and you're gonna get tired of dying by it. If somebody has a long lane, think of the bridges on Express here that go over the train. These are perfect alleyways for you to get shot by an arrow. So much of Black Ops Cold War is about lane watching and alleyway watching, so this crossbow is gonna be pretty damn good at that job. One of the other things we don't talk about in Modern Warfare is that Modern Warfare didn't have these super predictable maps. Their maps were more sporadic and chaotic and seemed to be actually designed with some amount of creativity. So the crossbow wasn't always the best because you didn't always have a perfectly, symmetrical lane to watch with it. It's not hard to set up a position in Cold War where you are just watching a head glitch from your head glitch. And in that case, the crossbow is going to be great when somebody peeks, you see their sniper glint, and you pull the trigger. Then we have to talk about the fact that the projectile has to travel, and it's slower than a bullet. Meaning, if the sniper you're shooting at, or someone using a DMR or something you're shooting at, is able to kill you quickly, your arrows still might kill them. You're going to give them a traded death, and that's going to get very frustrating after a while. My first match of Black Ops Cold War on last night's stream was me shooting somebody with a sniper rifle right as their arrow hit me. So yeah, get ready for a lot of traded deaths with crossbow users head glitching walls. So yeah, less shotguns and dual wield pistols is great, but this crossbow is good out of the box. Even if somebody just buys the bundle, they don't have to buy the bundle and then unlock the gun and then unlock the attachments, kind of like how you had to do in Modern Warfare. This crossbow doesn't have any attachments. So if somebody just buys it, they have it, put it on their class, and they have a lane watching tool that makes them ultra versatile. In the same way that the shotguns as secondaries completely subvert close range gunfights for free, and you just pull them out of your ass and fire them, this crossbow can be the same thing. Somebody can run an MP5 and they look over a head glitch spot, switch to their crossbow, pull the trigger, and even if you shoot at the same time, you still might have to take a death. So it's an annoying introduction into the game, but at least it's fun to use. And this is sort of the problem when talking about weapons, and I've never really discussed this before because how do you discuss something like this? Look, I want weapons to be good, but I don't want them to be really annoying to die by, and Call of Duty has a very low skill ceiling. A lot of weapons don't take that much effort to kill with. So yeah, I want the crossbow to be good, but I also don't want every time I stick my head over a wall, I get an arrow in my eye. And so, yeah, it's a frustrating compromise. That's why I think Call of Duty nailed crossbows with Black Ops 1 and Black Ops 2. They didn't frustrate me because they were slow-moving, explosive projectiles, and in Black Ops 1, you couldn't have overkill. That was kind of the closest thing you had when you used a ballistic knife, or a crossbow, or the automatic CZ, or the Python. That's like the closest you could get to a really interesting secondary. So yeah, and also it was clunky, it was slower, and the game played a little bit slower, and it was a different time. The maps were more complicated as well. So I don't think it's a great comparison. Also, it was more customizable, in my opinion, because you could put a sniper scope on it, which was sick. And then in Black Ops 2, you had the pick 10 system, so using the crossbow meant you had to give up grenades, attachments, perks, and who wants to do that? So even though the crossbow in that game's pretty damn versatile and very annoying to die by, you just didn't die by it too often. It was a lot of risk and reward to build your class in a pick 10 system that thought everything was worth 1 point. Red dot sight, crossbow, yeah, they're both essentially equivalent. Let's give them the same value. I don't want to get into like Black Ops 3's weird crossbows. I never used them. I never got lucky to get them out of supply drops. That game's a dumpster fire. But either way, there is a massive difference here. It's not a terribly hard challenge to complete. You can just complete it over time if you play hardcore or use sniper rifles. 15 games, 3 one-shot kill medals per game. That's not bad. You can have it on your class for free. All you have to give up is either your nice pistols, launcher, or shotgun, which is not really that hard to do if you want to use the weapon. That's not really a real trade-off. You're always gonna have to not have one weapon if you pick a different one, so okay. And theoretically, you could set this up to have the crossbow as your primary and the Diamattis as your secondary with the Lawbreaker perk, or wildcard, I guess. Yeah. So this thing is going to be pretty damn prevalent, and the arrow moves fast and it one-shots very consistently. In fact, I don't think I got one hit marker in the match I played with it. And I definitely never got hit markered by it by the people using it throughout my entire play session. This thing is fast, scary, and lethal, and perfect out of the box, so even people that just spend too much money on bundles are going to be able to one-shot you consistently without even having to complete the challenge. My solution to fix the crossbow and make it a lot less frustrating is make it a primary weapon. This thing is very lethal. This game has so many lethal, easy to use secondaries that subvert gunfights, I don't think it needs another one. That being said, I like that it's good out of the box. I like that I don't have to level it up 30 times for it to be decent. I just hope some rearranging is done in this game, both in terms of perks and what counts as a primary or a secondary. I will update you guys if this starts to ruin the game even more for me, but I think for the most part, it's just gonna be another frustrating gunfight subverting tool. But if everybody's subverting the time to kill, doesn't that equalize the time to kill? And that becomes the true ideal time to kill? Maybe. See you when I see you guys. Goodbye.